Hello everyone. So today we're going to be doing LeetCode 2325, Decode the Message. Alright, so we're going to be given strings of key and message, and this represents a cipher key and a secret message, respectively. Alright, so what we need to do is the first appearance of all 26 lowercase English letters are going to represent a letter in the alphabet. So in this example, T maps to A, H maps to B, E to C. So whenever we get a unique character that we haven't run into before, we're going to map that to whatever index we're at in the alphabet. So what we're going to end up doing is this. Alright, let me make some space here. So if I take this, let me copy over. Alright, so we're going to end up having a map, and this map is going to contain all of these. So whenever we hit this E, we're going to create a key for E, and then that's going to map to A, and now we're at L, and that's going to map to B, and then J will map to C, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be our, hope I'm using this correctly, this is going to be our cipher key map. Alright, so a little bit about the constraints real quick before we jump into it. We're guaranteed to have 26 characters for our key. They're all going to be, we're going to have at least A through Z, but we can also have spaces in here. Alright, so let's jump into it. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to create a variable called map, and this is exactly what we're creating up here, is so that we can store all of these mapped values. And then I'm going to create a variable called charcode, and we're going to do something that I think is pretty neat. So we're going to have the string with the character A in it, and we're going to say charcode at, this is going to be 0. So this is going to get the character code of the character at the 0 index, which is A. Alright, since we're starting at the beginning of the alphabet, we're then going to go increment that until we get to Z. Okay, so now we're going to create the cipher key map. I'm going to create a for loop for let I is 0, and then as long as I is less than the key.length, we're going to increment I. Okay. And then after we do this, we're going to decode the message. Okay, so what I'm going to start off with is we're going to create a variable called char. And this is going to be the character that we're currently at in the string, the key string. So what we need to check for is if we don't have this character inside of our map. So if the map of char, so if we don't have a key of this character, we're going to get a value of undefined. Alright, so we want to make sure it's undefined, and the char is not equal to a space. Okay, so if both of these conditions are true, we're going to say map of char is going to be equal, we're going to use string dot from charcode, and we're going to pass in our charcode. Alright, so we're going to pass in this character code here, and that's going to convert it back into A for this first time through. And so we're going to have E and that's going to map to A. So the last thing we have to do for this is then increment the char code plus equal 1. So then that's going to move it up to lowercase b and c and d and so on and so forth. And that's all we have to do for creating the cipher key map. So now we're going to decode the message. So I'm going to create a variable called output. This is what we're going to return from the function. And we're going to create another for loop. For let I is equal to 0, as long as I is less than the message length, since that's what we're decoding now. Alright, so all we have to do is, again, I'm going to create a variable called char, message of I. So this is the character of whatever position we're at in I. And then we're just going to add these to the output. But there's one other thing we have to consider in this, and that is if char is equal to a space. If it is equal to a space, we're just going to add that right to the output, because that doesn't matter. If it's not a space, we're going to go into our map. So let's say here we hit an L. So we'll use L and that'll return B. Okay? And then we'll add B to the end of our decoded message, our output. And then we just return output. And that's all there is to it. So if we submit this, there we are. Very cool, very cool. Alright, I hope this was helpful for you. If y'all have any suggestions or better solutions for this, I would love to hear it down in the comments below. Alright, until next time, have a great day.